All right, everybody, we are back from GenCon 2015, continuing and finishing our unboxing of Wave 7 for Star Wars X-Wing.
And
how's it going?
Well, everyone out there is probably asking, how did you guys do 1,000 videos in 3 days, and then you're doing like one video every week?
Well, the reality is that we got back and died. And then after about 4 days of not seeing a single human being or sunlight, we rose, and
and we said,
we are.
Let us unbox. Give the people what they want.
All the unboxings.
And really what I want, because I mean, the disclaimer that everybody knows about Steven and X-Wing is that I'm not good at the game. I know actually as little as you can with still saying you're an X-Wing player. I've just played E-Wings and Y-Wings the entire game. I've never even played.
That's basically where you're at.
So like I'm kind of
that laser turret.
I'm gonna be the flavor guy in this. And so Zach's gonna have to really perform as the guy who knows what he's talking about. Which
luckily I have a free action.
You've been playing a lot more X-Wing, so I think it's gonna work out.
It's good. Worlds is coming up, so I have to. I got to get ready. All right.
We're working off of the K-Wing, which is just. I mean, I'm the guy that just is here, just like, man, have you seen these models? Have you guys seen these models? This is one of the coolest ships I have ever even thought of. I don't even know. I hate to ask you Star Wars questions on camera, and I do it all the time. Do you know where the K-Wing came from?
It came from a video game.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Like Rogue Squadron or
let's see if I can find it really quick.
ATST, Dark Force, one of those. Everybody out there who's watching this knows where it
You
came
always
from.
do this to me. We get on video, and it's like, oh, now here's the question.
Anyway, this ship looks gorgeous.
The thing I want to note,
incredible.
I have to note about this whole thing is that when we were getting ready to record this, I said, hey, Steven, go pick a ship to do. And this is the one he picked. So
I picked it.
The hype train better be real.
I had to wait on the Carraxes as well, because that's actually a killer looking ship. But let's do it. Let's
you ready?
This
All right, K-Wing. Here we go.
Before we do it, I gotta slam. I gotta talk about slam. This is my one job in the video, because this is a critical thing about the K-Wing.
All right, let's slam. Well, let's put this card here.
Yeah.
It has a slam action, which is a totally new action.
Slam action, you see those double arrows pointed up. So the slam action you would think involves slamming into something or otherwise. However, that is incorrect. It stands for sublight acceleration motor. And what this basically allows the K-Wing to do, and I'll read the official card here in a second, but it allows the K-Wing to basically take 2 moves of the same speed, okay, as the action, and they can't attack. But to slam, you choose and execute a maneuver on the ship's dial, and the chosen maneuver must be the same speed as the maneuver that ship executed this round. So I execute a 2-turn, then I have to take an action essentially to execute a 2 of anything. Forward, left, right, bank if I have it. We'll get to the dial in a second. And so I'm able to just make the most beautiful maneuvers on the board that you've ever seen. I mean, like a bank into a turn or like a straight into a turn. It's like, man, this thing can move. Now the downfall of that is that
I was gonna say, what's the drawback here?
And then it can do anything it wants. It gets a weapons disabled token, and it cannot attack that round. And there's a couple of really important things. It cannot perform attacks, period. Bold, cannot perform attacks when it has this token on it. That token comes off at the end phase along with focus and evade tokens, as you would expect.
So you're basically locked down.
You're basically locked down. Now, one thing that I find particularly interesting is the special text down here. There's 2 things. One, slam does count as executing a maneuver. So if you had passives that say, when this ship executes a maneuver, do this cool thing, give it a focus or do something, then that's going to happen. And I think that's really critical for this ship and for this maneuver. And second, a ship cannot perform slam as a free action. Period, exclamation point, semicolon. Not going to happen. You can't do it. The rules have explicitly stated this can't be broken.
Some ship within range 1 gets to do a free action. You can't give it a slam.
Very important to note. And it makes sense because who knows where the dial is at that time. Maybe the dial hasn't even been set, so you wouldn't even have a frame of reference for this maneuver. So it can't do all of these things.
You also don't want some weird you get to attack with it and then someone else gives us a reaction after that. Basically, if you're going to use this action, there are no attacks happening.
It's very
there's no weird way around it either.
So that's the slam action. What about the dial? Can we talk about the dial?
Yeah, let's talk about the dial.
It's like the simplest dial. It's the Occam's dial. Is what I would call it.
Dial.
Yeah.
There's the dial.
There it is.
There it is.
So the thing that I notice is you have ones. As you might imagine.
One straight and banks, no turns.
Straight and bank and they're green. So this
Thank God it doesn't have 1 turn.
This is
Can you imagine this? Look, boom, boom. It's like, you didn't even move.
He's slamming, baby. Then we have 2s all across the board. Only the straight is green.
That's really where the money is.
And then we only have 3 bank, 3 forward, 3 bank. No 4s, no K turns. This thing has got to be dancing on the battlefield.
Well, that's because it's got slam, right?
It's got slam, but
imagine if it had 3 turn. It's just like...
I mean, if you had a K-turn plus slam, I mean, that would be cool. Obviously, it would get stressed, so that would be hard to do.
But you could like K-turn as the slam action, right? It doesn't have the K-turn.
You're
We
right.
won't dive into that,
You're
but
right.
it's like, I went 3/4,
That's
and
so
now
true.
3K.
Yeah. But it does count as performing a maneuver, executing a maneuver, so there may be rules there. Anyway, the whole point is that this thing is going to be the graceful ballerina.
It's like the butterfly of X-Wing.
On the X-Wing board, and it has a very simple dial. You don't have a lot of decisions to make. It doesn't even have red maneuvers. It's not even possible. You can't stress this ship out. It's
I mean,
too good.
basically the way it turns around is literally a two turn.
Yep.
Like that's it.
And
But
then it can't shoot.
as you might imagine, just from looking at the thing, I've got a feeling it's going to be dropping some bombs.
Yeah, it could be a good bomber. Let's check it out. The K-Wing, starting now.
All right, you ready?
The original pilot. I'll be the reader during this thing. How
All
about
right,
that?
because I'm not good at reading.
Base model K-Wing is the Warden Squadron pilot, and it does look as though he's dropping bombs. That could be a clue. He's got a 2 pilot skill, 2 attack, 1 defense, 5 hull, 4 shield, and the focus, target lock, and slam actions. So this is a pretty standard Rebel ship. Now, 5-4, what do you think about that? That's not actually like back in the early days of X-Wing.
That was crazy.
That was like, oh, this thing's impossible.
I mean, with only one agility, that's a serious. I mean, this ship can go down.
It can go down real hard. It's 23
like
points.
Whisper or a decimator. Yeah, 23 points. That's real. That's
not-
actually kind of sad that it's only 23 points.
It's pretty,
thinking about the
pretty
X-Wing.
low. Yeah, right.
That's pretty good for 23 points.
If you look at the K a certain way, it can almost be an X. So maybe
Maybe this is
this is
X.0.
just-
X.0. No, I mean, I think it's okay, right? So it's got 2 attack, which is okay. It's got 1 agility, which is not great.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
really not good.
But it does have beefy health. So in like that regard, right? Like a B-wing is 3/1 with less total whole health. So
that's fair. That's a good assessment. And then we have, this is where it gets.
this is where the money is.
You've
Look
got
at those upgrades.
You've got 1 turret upgrade slot. You've got 2 proton upgrade slots. You've got 1 missile upgrade. You've got 1 crew member, and you've got 2 bombs. So what do you want to do? I mean, you can build this ship in insane ways, in whatever way that you want to build it, right?
Just so we're aware, like the upgrade slots on this are nuts.
It's crazy.
Like that is.
I'd expect this on like a capital ship.
So, crew slot is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's killer.
It doesn't have an EPT. I'll be curious to see if the higher ups have the EPT.
No system upgrade either, yeah.
No system upgrade.
That's important
But
for
it can
me.
have a modification.
It can.
So you could give it, I don't know, boost. Make it even fancier. But that turret slot actually, given my foreknowledge of the rest of the pack.
The twin laser you're talking about?
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Anyways, I think it's good. It's not crazy. It's not.
So we did the interview with Alex Davey, which you guys have to go watch if you haven't seen that. We did that at GenCon, so check that out. But this is, as we said, it's not like, it would be a problem if we said, this is incredible, it's too good, it's crazy. That's not what the game is trying to do. It's trying to give you all the different options. The K-Wing with the slam and these slots is certainly giving a lot of really interesting options. So let's move on. Let's see what the rest. We got, I mean, it's not going to be too exciting, right? 4 pilot skill.
2 more points.
The Guardian.
2 more pilot skill.
So we go from the Warden to the Guardian. I think that's quite interesting in the idea of what the K-Wing is. It's kind of this like defensive Guardian type ship. Looks good. Good art. Nothing changes.
So it's really, I mean,
standard.
it's 2. Do you have 2 points? And do you want to be at the 4 pilot skill?
And let me tell you guys, pilot skill is like the Wild West for me. It's crazy. I don't know where to start on it. I know a lot of you guys out there know like, oh, well, I'm bidding for this initiative play and I'm trying to beat this list that's running at 3. And just like, man, there's...
I mean, it comes down to, do you care about the initiative bid?
Right.
Which really there's a lot of things that go into that. But it's about the meta. Like what... If it's all 9s because it's Whisper and Soon Tier with Decimators,
right? You don't care
unless you're at 9s and you need to go
right
before they.
And then it's
you want them to go first because you don't want them to arc dodge.
It's
right?
like a veteran instincts, what is that? Arms race basically.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I mean, it's going to come down to meta, the 2 points. Now, what do we have here? Now we get to the fancy
well,
stuff.
Esej Tuketu. This is a beautiful little piece of art here too.
I'm glad you were reading that.
6 pilot skill. Looks like I don't see any additional slots down there, so none of the elite pilot upgrades.
It's probably good that it doesn't have that.
When another friendly ship at range 1 or 2 is attacking, it may treat your focus tokens as its own. I think this is great, man. Like, I mean, it's not like a powerhouse, right? So we see a lot of these ships, like Cornhorn for the E-Wing, for instance. It's kind of my frame of reference for the game.
It's my entire frame of reference.
Is an obvious powerhouse. But then you see like Eton and some of the other guys that are good, but they don't really see the table so much because they have these weird, like, not primetime abilities, but not bad abilities. And I wonder if this is going to fall into that.
I mean, so it has the crew slot, right? And I'm immediately thinking recon specialist, focus, get a second focus. And it's also, with just picturing how you're going to use the ship, it's going to be slamming around.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it won't even be attacking.
That's so true.
So
yeah,
focus is really great for defense, but like you only roll 1 agility. So it's not like doing anything for you. But if you can slam into position close to your ships,
that actually is super
focus.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm way into that.
Yeah,
I'm way into that. Yeah, I'm way into that.
Particularly, I mean, think about ships that like have to K-turn, right?
Right.
They are stressed, so they don't get a focus, and they're kind of hanging in the wind there.
Yeah, cool. So you can protect your heavy hitters with this guy, and I could see
it's like,
that.
do you want to shoot this guy or the other guy? And
that
both
seems
of them
cool.
have the focus, right?
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's very cool. I think that's.
I'm into that ability.
As far as a support ship is concerned, you can't really ask for better than like moving anywhere on the board and then giving focus to people. That's pretty significant.
Unless you look at this guy.
Oh no, Miranda Donny, probably a lady.
Whoops.
Lady, 8 pilot skill.
How many points?
Taking down a TIE fighter there, only 29. So really not that many. Once per round when attacking, you may either spend 1 shield to roll 1 additional attack die, or roll 1 fewer attack die to recover 1 shield.
This drives me crazy.
Wow.
What? This drives me crazy. I love this ship. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I'll do for the rest of the game?
I haven't seen that look in your eye in like probably 6 years, man.
Oh my gosh, dude.
This drives me crazy. Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Man.
Tell me why. Tell me why this is great, aside from the obvious. I've just read it. I know why it's good, but like, what's going through your head here?
So
is it just so adaptable?
It's so adaptable, right? Like, so annoying. And it's like, even if you're just attacking once per turn, like, which it'd be crazy if you had a way to attack more than once.
I think you do.
But if you were attacking once per turn, like, there are a lot of turns where I'm staring down Team Tier, and it's like focus, evade with a stealth device and an auto thrusters, and I'm like, I'm not hitting. So
let's not kid anybody.
Let's not joke around about this.
He's not hidden.
But in that case, right, it's like, oh, roll 1 less and just recover.
Recover a shield, yeah.
Maybe you have that chance where you have the focus, you're at range 1 of a Soontir who had to K-turn or was stressed.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to bump it up. I'm going to lose a shield. Now I'm rolling 3. I'm at range 1, so I'm rolling 4.
4 dice.
It's so just incredibly versatile.
It's really adaptable, and it's really good. Now, this is it's interesting because this is not playing into the slam mentality that our other pilot was playing into.
Because it wants to be attacking.
Because it wants to be attacking, so it's going to be hard to balance that, like, do I, like, position right now?
But I mean, like, think about slam in in a different light, right? So not just abusing slam, but just really practically speaking.
Sure.
Even just for arc dodging. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I moved and now I'm range 1 of 3 of your ships, but now I'm going to not be.
Yep.
I would rather not have an attack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And be fine with that. But on the flip side, also just offensively, because if you're running the bombs, you can position for really, really good results. And we'll get to the rest of the upgrade cards in a second.
That's true.
But just this ability is fascinating to me. Like, do you want to shoot this guy? Like, you do 5 damage, and then I'm like, I'm just going to cruise around and, like, heal 1 a turn. Like,
yeah, that's trouble. And I think the double attack is really where this gets crazy because it's when attacking, period. It's not when attacking with your primary or with a secondary. It's just when you're attacking. So you can use this on anything.
Wouldn't that be crazy if there was a way?
Let's just talk about it, dude. So before we start on the twin laser turret, stop what you're doing
Pause.
and go read a blog called A Tale of Two Metas by the theorist, long time poster, veteran of our site, teamcovenant.com. My goodness, is this a good blog? Jeff consistently outdoes himself, and it's basically all about what are these ships going to do to change the meta in Wave 7.
And more importantly, what is this card
What is this particular card going to do? This is a game changer, guys.
Yeah,
this is like, stop what you're doing.
It really is.
Pay attention.
Fundamental change.
If this video is playing in the background, you're kind of watching it while you're doing dishes or whatever, stop what you're doing. Does anyone do the dishes anymore? I do still.
I mean, I do the dishes. I don't know about you.
Well, they got dishwashers, you know? It's like, anyway, stop putting them in the dishwasher or washing them manually and listen to this because Twin Laser Turret is a big deal. That's why you got to get the cable.
Yeah,
period.
Right. It's a turret, 6 points, a 6-point turret.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. 3 attack, range 2 to 3. It's an attack. Perform this attack twice, even against a ship outside your firing arc.
Okay. Wait a minute. So you can attack 360 degrees regardless of what ship
range
this
2 to
is
3.
on. Range 2 to 3. And it doesn't count for like weird bonuses or minuses.
So you don't get range
due to
bonuses, right? You can't shoot at range 1, so you'll never get that. But your opponent also won't get the range 3.
No range 3 anything, okay?
Each time this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 damage. Then cancel all dice results.
Okay, roll 3 dice. All you can ever do is 1 damage total.
Correct.
Cancel all the others.
Yep.
Okay.
But you got to do it twice.
Who cares, Zach?
Yeah, it's not that good. Except for it's incredible. And here's why.
Tell me about this.
The meta is, and not to dive too far into the meta, read Jeff's blog, but the meta is really heavily leaning towards Soontir, Whisper, Decimator, Falcon, 2-ship builds, like that kind of style of ship.
Elite, we're talking about elite ships.
And like it's the kind of ships that once you get down to like one-on-one, they're really hard to beat.
Right.
Like Soontir one-on-one is horrible. Like unless you're just rocking the right upgrades or the right pilot skill, it's horrible.
I've been there.
So you're looking at this and it's like, all right, the K-wing, even the cool K-wing we just talked about. It's 2 attacks, right? It can recover 2 shields or lose 2 shields. That's
incredible. Basically, hold on, that's nuts. That means he can attack twice with 4 dice, guaranteeing basically 1 hit per attack.
2 damage.
So he's almost guaranteeing 2 damage.
I wouldn't say guaranteeing, but you could also have, I don't know, Gunner on him. So,
we don't want to talk about that.
So long story short, though, what really makes this crazy is that you think about like Soontir or Decimator or Falcon. Like Falcon, C-3PO can only be used once a turn. They only get 1 evade token. He's rolling 1 defense die.
Right.
And so the problem with the Falcon is you normally have to have enough firepower to really do a lot of damage in a single turn.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's not even about like throwing, a number of dice at the Falcon, right? It's like 1 attack for 4 dice or even 5 or 3. It's like, Falcon doesn't really care. It can just like find a way to get out of it all. But the second you start throwing multiple attacks at the Falcon, that's when it's like, ooh, interesting.
Riddle me this.
Okay.
Just riddle me this.
You guys do.
Pretend that, and I have no idea on the points on the Y-Wing. I'm sorry. I'm not a Rebel player. Admit it again.
The fact that I don't is really sad.
I think it's anyways, I won't guess at that one. I just see them as ships I need to destroy. But imagine like 4 Y-Wings.
Yeah.
With this turret on them.
Okay.
That is 8 attacks a turn.
Yeah.
If you come up against a Falcon and you get 8 attacks a turn against the Falcon, you know what happens to the Falcon? It dies, and it dies incredibly fast.
Can you believe it?
Like that's
imagine Soontir. Imagine Soontir coming up against the 4 Y-wing just like silly squad.
And like the thing with Y-wings is they're healthy enough to not just die quick.
Yeah.
So like you're screwed. Like this is this card like
you can't arc dodge it.
And like my problem is like all of my favorite ships all of a sudden just lose. Like,
well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. We put this in context of the meta is that if you see that 4 Y-wing list a lot, okay, Soontir and Whisper go away, and it becomes a much more
but then you don't
interesting
run the Ys.
meta. But then the Ys go away.
And then Soontir comes back.
Because
you know
let's face it, 4 Ys with twin laser turrets is not going to last long. It's a spoiler list, but it's not like a consistently...
I think it is, though, man. Look, 360 arcs.
He's wrong.
360 arcs. You can't get out.
Well, where I know you went wrong is you said the Y-wings are tough enough to not die very quickly, and I happen to know that they get obliterated, by the way. Completely obliterated. You think that about the Y-wings, but they just melt. So, fair enough.
All I'm saying is that this is so real. And it may, maybe it's not. Maybe
let's keep in mind high agility ships. Still, they're rolling a lot of green dice against those attacks.
With so many attacks,
it's a lot of dice.
You know what I learned about green dice? They come up
things.
blank, and you get 2 of these in the pack.
It's
by the way,
going to change things.
You get 2.
You pretty much have to buy this, which is kind of a bummer. It's great for us if you buy it from us, but
particularly buy it from us, which I recommend. If you haven't done that yet,
we like what we do.
You should do that.
But it's less good for the consumer, obviously, because you got to buy that. You got to buy it.
But you get 2.
You get to. And I don't know of a lot of X-Wing players that are not buying everything that comes out for this game.
Only a few releases a year. All right, so what's up next?
Ion bombs. When you reveal your maneuver dial, you may discard this card to drop 1 ion bomb token.
You want to hear more about the ion bomb?
This token detonates at the end of the activation phase. Tell me about the bomb, Zach. It's only 2 points.
When this bomb token detonates, each ship at range 1 of the token receives 2 ion tokens.
Oh man, it's 2.
Yeah, that means it hits the big ships.
It's the big ones.
Then discard this token.
Okay, so basically this is just an easy way to give an ion token, 2 ion tokens to everything in the world.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the activation phase.
When this bomb detonates, each ship at range 1 of the token receives 2 ion tokens.
But that's devastating, right? So this is, I would consider this just a formation destroyer, right? You see like a bunch of TIE fighters coming in here, and they're all like flying around being fancy. Like everyone flies.
Y-wings I was talking
everyone
about?
flies fancy. The B-wings come in, you got 3 flying in formation or whatever, and it's like you guys are all going 1 forward, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like one turn of that in X-wing, and the game is. I won't say it's over, but
at current, like there's not a lot of like lists are really small, like, small number of ships, and also they tend to have 360 arcs.
Right.
And the TLT makes me think there'll be more 360 arcs in the near future. That's fair. So I think this card is interesting. It's only a couple points, and it can be well placed because Ion can be really good.
Right.
I'm curious to see how it functions in the meta, but I've got a feeling that this is the kind of card that you forget about.
A bit of a sleeper.
Yeah. And it's like when the meta is back to Swarm, which I think it will get to, actually.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, because I'll tell you one thing, the most effective way to bomb something for real is to ion bomb it first, right?
And then
launch the ion bomb and then fly back around, hit it with a real bomb, and it's like, I know they're going to hit it. There's no real confusion there. So I think it could be really strong. For 2 points. You can't complain.
What are you doing?
ConnerNet, this is a big one, man. I know it's big. I know it's big just from the name and from the look of it.
Yeah.
ConnerNet. It's an action. Discard this card to drop 1 ConnerNet token. Discard it, drop the token. When a ship's base or maneuver template overlaps this token, it detonates.
You want to know what a ConnerNet does?
So that's pretty easy. Let's talk about ConnerNet.
This is one of the coolest detonations you're ever going to see.
It's a big token, too.
I can picture this because it's the Clone Wars. Anyways, when this bomb token detonates, the ship that moved through or overlapped this token suffers 1 damage. It's a damage. That's good. The ion token
so it's like a guaranteed asteroid kind of a thing.
Guaranteed damage.
Get an asteroid is guaranteed. Yeah.
Receives 2 ion tokens.
Oh, no.
And skips its perform action step.
Wow. So you really pwned some dudes.
No action. Ion tokens.
Talk about soon tier and whispers.
You take a damage now. You don't get actions. And next turn you have to go 1 forward.
That's incredible. Wow.
And I lied. That thing that I said we didn't need earlier that you threw over there didn't get on film.
That was before the
shows the ConnerNet. It's a larger. It's not really typical.
Keep talking.
Get it.
Keep talking.
It's a larger token, so it's a lot easier to hit that than it is a tiny little token.
It looks big on the thing.
Yep. All right, there it goes. He literally threw it. It was on the ground. I swear.
We've got the components over here. There it is.
Check
This thing
that
is big. Look at this thing. This thing's huge.
Put it up next to the ship. Like there it is.
Look at that. That's a giant.
Yeah, and if you look, it's like a net.
That's a giant token.
Like it's super cool. How many points is this thing? I can't see it at all.
Throw this anywhere, like on the back of the man. You have, dude. That
net take the 1, right?
Is like bomb cool.
And it's like
that is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. You're gonna nut some things. That's a real.
Would you look at that?
It's 4 points. I mean. This is like a coup de grace kind of thing. This sets up the kill like nothing I've ever seen.
Whatever gets
put it on the
ConnerNet,
K-wing and you can slam around.
Yeah, whatever hits that is in trouble. Like it's crazy. And
that's cool.
Right, 3 health. It's
that's
like,
really
1
cool.
Of 3, and then you're just pwned.
We're really getting some bombs here.
That bomb got dropped.
The bombs are happening. This is a new wave. Plasma torpedoes. Let's talk about some new torpedoes here. 4 attack, 2 to 3 range attack and target lock. Spend your target lock and discard this card to perform the attack. If it hits after dealing damage, remove 1 shield from the defender. Nice.
So this is cool. So the damage has to be done first, right? So what makes the shield removal interesting is that a lot of times for a lot of ships, the shields will be gone.
Yep, they'll be gone.
If you're rolling the 4 dice here, right? And it's like, if you do hit, do you get rid of all the shields? So it's particularly good against ships with a bunch of shields.
Yeah, within shield heavy meta, and K-Wing's got 4 shields. It works great against them.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of ships now, and certainly in the future. Listen, the numbers can't get too crazy, right? It's like you're going to give people way more shields, way more hull, or a mix of the two.
Yeah, so Alex was talking about that in that interview, right? Where it's like you can only mess with those numbers so much. But I think we've seen ships with 4 plus shields, and it's like. Okay, and ways to get shields back.
Makes a lot of sense.
Still my favorite ship so far, by the way.
Let's talk about advanced homing missiles.
All right.
3 attack, 2 range only. So you can't do 3, can't do 1. It's 2 only. Attack and target lock. Discard this card. So you only have to have the target lock. You don't have to discard the target lock. Which is important. Which is very important. We learned that lesson a mini unboxing ago.
Whoops.
If this attack hits, deal 1 face-up damage card, basically a crit, to the defender. Then cancel all dice results.
So you basically aren't doing damage. You're just doing a single critical.
For 3 points, I mean, what do we think?
It's interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
All these are just interesting, and
it can just be so brutal, or it can be kind of like,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the problem, right? So you discard this card, right?
Yeah.
So you discard it. How many points is it?
It's 3.
It's so tough. You discard a 3-point card, and it's like, it might do something cool. I mean, like, if you're shooting Cynthia and you do double damage, it's incredible. Or Whisper, it just kills Whisper.
Yeah. Or like, you know, if you disable some critical systems or stress to be
or you just like cancel their upgrades, right? Or their secondary weapons, or you make the pilot skill 0. There's a lot of good stuff.
There's some things.
But the criticals are always like, it's like getting the treat out of the Cracker Jack box. It's like, it's could be incredible, but it could also just literally be a sticker of like a bear. And it's like, well, that was fun. So
we tried. I ate all of that for this.
It's possible that those could get more interesting in a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to be hopeful.
Let's talk about Bombardier
Crew.
This is a crew member. Only 1 cost, 1 point. When dropping a bomb, you may use the 2 straight template instead of the 1 straight template.
That's a thing.
I mean, this is important. We're consistently trying to find ways to make bombs better. I don't say we, Alex and company over at X-Wing Land are trying to make bombs better.
X-Wing
Land. And it's definitely like a thing that they're actively pursuing. Like they're trying to do this to get bombs into the public conscience to make them happen. This is the kind of card that makes that happen.
Yeah, I mean, for 1 point in the crew slot, if you don't have a different crew you're really wanting to run, or you don't have the points, or if you're loading up on bombs, like being able to drop it at 2 could be hyper relevant.
I mean, if I can drop a Connor net 2 away from me, like that's gonna hit anything that I want.
if placed correctly.
I mean,
not the like most fancy card, but definitely like a very useful card for that.
Absolutely.
That strategy.
All right, so let's move on to extra munitions. This is
what's up.
A limited card, so that's important. It's 2 cost. It is a torpedo slot. When you equip this card, place 1 ordnance token on each equipped torpedo, missile, and bomb upgrade card. When you are instructed to discard an upgrade card, you may discard 1 ordnance token on that card instead?
That's right!
Oh, wow, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I'm imagining this is the ordnance token, yeah?
Yeah.
Extra. I hope that's right, but I mean, it has to be this one.
Let's talk about this for a second. Let's just talk about this.
Let's look at this card.
There it is.
Look at that. That's nice.
Bombs away.
Look at that. Extra things.
This makes every one of those upgrades more interesting.
I mean, the whole thing, I don't know that you really run it without this card.
You have to have the slots, right? Like you have to have the slots and the points. But what this really allows is it allows for a bomber, right? Mm-hmm. You have a bomb. It's not like your whole list is ordnance and bombs and all this stuff. But like, just imagine the K-Wing, right?
Right.
And it's like, I'm going to load him up with bombs, and he's going to get each of those twice.
Well, this is one of those things where you're literally converting the function of a ship to something other than its original function. So, like, it used to have torpedoes, and now it just has better bombs. And the reason that's so cool, I played this game. I think I brought this up before. Escape Velocity. It's an old Mac game. It's really, really good.
And we're back.
But here's the coolest thing about it, and this is what players of all types and games love, is the ability to do it my way, right? Like, I want to make this ship my own. I want to feel like I've created something here, something interesting, something fantastic. And this kind of card allows you to do that. You're starting to play with slots. So, like, on the flip, if you could convert a bomb slot to, like, convert 2 bomb slots to a turret slot or something, now I'm able to, like, run the ships that I want to run, but do them kind of my way and not be forced into, if I want this role, then I've got to take this ship. And I think that's really powerful. I think that's really important for players and for people. Just, we love it. We love that kind of stuff.
It's just really, I mean, it's...
and it's bananas good.
It's really cool. I mean, it basically, I mean, doubling all your bombs, right? So if you have 2 or 3 bombs or missiles or torpedoes, like...
You can be way more liberal with how you use those things. I mean, you're just using them every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got? Now, this is the Advanced Slam.
It's the grand finale.
Advanced Slam is important. I mean, this is really a list creator, I would say, in a way.
I mean, this makes the magic of Slam happen.
Advanced Slam is a modification. After performing a Slam action, if you did not overlap an obstacle or another ship, you may perform a free action. You get an action. You still can't attack, but you get an action. Now, could you drop a bomb with said action?
Well, if the bomb was like the Connor net and it said action, discard this card to drop a Connor net token.
That's not an attack, is it?
Then you could move. Then you could slam. Then you could Connor net.
And and if you have the upgrade, you can drop it 2 behind you as you see fit.
Yep.
So like this, I mean, this is critical. I don't know if it's like the advanced cloaking device where it's like you just don't see the Phantom without that.
Well, it's hard to be the advanced cloaking device because cloak is insanity.
It's insanity good, but it's been kind of fixed at the same time.
Yep.
I don't know if it's that level of thing, but certain K-Wing builds will definitely have to have this to make sense. And I think that's fine. Two cost
I mean,
modifications.
just the ability to slam and still get an action.
Even if you're just keeping yourself safe, just give yourself a focus.
I mean, or maybe you run engine upgrade and you're boosting.
Yep.
Like, it's like, oh, slam boost. It's like, you can get
miles away.
Yeah.
Miles away.
Literally miles. And that is the K-Wing.
All right, guys, that's the K-Wing. We've calmed down a little bit since GenCon. We're feeling good. We're ready. We're excited about Wave 7. And I got to say, it just continues to impress me. And, like, we talked to Alex at GenCon. Again, go watch that. It's so important to know the philosophy behind this game because it's in such good hands. And you see these ships come out, and it's like, this is what you want. This is what you need. It's not crazy new power creepy type stuff. It's like, man, this is a crazy awesome ship. It's doing cool things.
And it's doing something that other ships haven't done.
Very
which I
interesting.
think is really cool. And like, it would be enough if it was just a great looking ship.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible game, and I'm so excited to see them just continue to explore and change the meta, and we'll see where X-Wing goes.
The K-Wing, guys. Check it out. You can pre-order it from our site, or if it's past pre-order time, you can order it from our site. And check it out, because it is an awesome looking ship. We'll catch you guys on some more unboxings. We got tons more Wave 7, so find us there. We'll see you then.